Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Nope. Unmute. Welcome.
Hey.
Hey man, G's not producing, but I gotta fuck this up, somehow. Welcome to the MHB postgame show. I'm your host for tonight, Franky G. With me, thank you. With me is the reality check master, Tiffany Meeks.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Love it. Siobhan, Beslow. I don't know what your intro was. I haven't heard it in a while.
I know.
Yeah. The hostess with the mostest, Siobhan Beslow.
Sure.
But we have a very, very important video to start the show with.
I'm here with your boy, Max.
What's up, Tiff? How you doing? Hope everything's well.
Cheers.
That's your
Look at
boy.
that.
Look at your
That's
boy.
my boy. Look at that.
That's so
When you just don't give up.
When you don't give up, the Miami Heat did not give up. They did not let up either. They blew
Praise
out
God.
a good team, 138 to 119. They scored 138 American points today, ladies. What a performance! Dominating performance overall tonight. Tiff,
Yes.
Kale Durandell says, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't either. They looked competent tonight. What do you think?
Yo, they looked beyond competent tonight. They looked like they were having fun. I saw some high-fiving, some chest bumping, smiling, saw a little two-step. I mean, they looked good.
Some
They
of those
look
dunks were frustration dunks. They were just
Yes.
released. Just,
Yes. They look, listen.
You saw a little Kevin Love, the Love Below from Devin
Man.
Day.
The no love below.
J Jack says he's still waiting for the Grizz to come back. I am too. I'm surprised. Siobhan, they did not let up tonight. They led the whole way.
no, they didn't. They
Dominant third quarter. Talk a little bit about their performance. How they look to you. Hello, Bon.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not sure what
No,
happened.
you're good.
No, they didn't let up, and I was waiting for it too. And I didn't want to be waiting for it. I knew I shouldn't have been waiting for it. I wanted to have the faith in them to not have to think about the comeback, but it was just that little grain in the back, like when it was at 20, right before, like a little bit before I spoke called the timeout. I was like, all right, y'all gonna get cute. And then they're gonna make a comeback, and now you're gonna look stupid. But they didn't, and it felt like they wouldn't. If they were, all they had to do was maintain what they were doing. They were disciplined, composed in a way that they haven't been in a while, and it felt freer flowing. And like you said, they felt like they had fun tonight, and it was evident.
Definitely, and I think the connectivity really started with the rotation. This looked, Brady Hawk was talking about on 5 Reasons about them needing to shorten their rotation and kind of get into their playoff rotation and roles right now. And I completely agree with that. I think it starts with Kyle off the bench. They finally got Kyle off the bench, and he's had his ups and downs all season. That's well documented, well discussed amongst Heat Twitter and Heat fans. But I feel like this kind of role with that stability off the bench has really stabilized their weakness for most of the season. Tiff, what do you think about Kyle off the bench tonight?
Well, I know, like I've been saying to probably you guys and anybody else.
Listen, Jimmy said bullying works, okay?
Exactly. It worked tonight. That they needed a point guard off the bench. You had ball handlers, but you didn't have good decision makers. And the thing is, with the bench, you don't need Kyle to do too much. You just need him to make good passes and hit the open shot.
Yeah.
He's been taking the open shots, which we want to see, hit or miss. He has to take those shots. He's been getting guys in the right positions, and he's getting them up and down the court, which is with that unit, with Caleb in that unit, you need them to be running up and down the court. That unit is semi-athletic. There's no reason they should just be playing half court. I like the way that he's looked. I think that there is now, you can see a really good balance between him and Caleb. Him and Gabe.
Yeah.
Gabe gives you a little bit, just enough. Gabe, because you don't need him to do too much. He's with the starters. Take your shots as you see them, hit the open man. That's what you need. And he's doing it, and he's playing stout defense. Then you bring Kyle off the bench, and honestly, you need a replica of what Gabe is giving you. That's pretty much Kyle throwing one-handed passes down the court. Like you don't need any of that. I need you to get them into the offense. I need you to hit the shooters in their pockets and play whatever kind of defense you playing. I don't know, because he's guarding up now. So I just need you to guard up and be strong.
Yeah, the Kyle and Caleb combo off the bench really works well, because Caleb is going to be your on-ball defender, and Kyle is a good help defender, and he runs the offense offensively, lets Tyler fit in his role, and lets Bam fit in role. That grouping was really solid tonight. Siobhan, I want to talk about hear from you on that, on Kyle off the bench and Gabe's stability tonight, offensively and defensively. They really shut down. I mean, they're missing Ja. They lost Bane early, but they had no answers to get inside tonight.
Yeah, and being completely objective about Gabe throughout the season, I have at times been disappointed by his defense, and I've said it aloud with him, Bam, Vic. At times, there's been some evident regression to me. There's been some lack of discipline and some effort type of things, but more disheartening is the discipline part of it, understanding how hard all of them have to work. We talk ad nauseum about how they have to overcome their other kind of weaknesses by doing things at a really high intensity level and really precise for long stretches of time. And with Gabe throughout the season, I've seen some, like I said, some regression in that. But tonight and over the stretch kind of recently, he's been doing the things kind of all season that they need out of. There's a train going by. If I have to mute, back in. He's been doing the kind of things all season. And I talk about him being able to start for Miami. Y'all go ahead. I'll come back once this train is back. Give me a moment.
No problem. But the stability that Gabe brings off defensively, when you're starting Kevin Love, we've talked about, you need a point of attack defender. Caleb off the bench lets him play the wing off the bench, the energy wing, which we saw all last season. He thrived in. He can be pesky. He can pick up full court, not have to worry about getting beat up with bigger and more athletic guys. But Siobhan, go ahead and continue. The train's gone.
And it is, I think, to the point about, like, you don't really need either of the point guard spot to do too much. And that's kind of what I've been saying about the way that the offense is orchestrated for Miami kind of all season. Their point guards for them aren't doing a bunch of like scripted dribble driving, like a bunch of coming off of screens and stuff. They are primarily like beginning the play, initiating it, and then relocating, and then being, becoming a part of the rest of the offense. And so the both of them look good. I do appreciate the stability on the bench. Again, we talked about the bench being unstable at earlier points in the season, and it wasn't just the Tyler move. Caleb to the starters also destabilized them a bit. And so I don't know if we do the Kevin Love and Caleb debate or whatever, if we have that coming up, but with Kevin, like you said, is allowed Caleb to kind of go, and at least that little area has found some stability. Also, the point guard, to your point, has found some stability, and they're peaking, they're playing well at the most optimal time of the year, right? If you can't be great all season and maintain it, at least get better, as it starts to wane. So,
right.
Yeah, this is the time, we've talked about the standings ad nauseum. But this is the time the Heat want to make a run. They're 2 back of Brooklyn right now for a 6 seed. They don't want to be in the play-in. We don't want them to be in the play-in. They're 3 back of the Knicks. They play the Knicks 2 more times, so they kind of control their own destiny with how they play. Definitely agree with everything you guys said. Of course, we usually agree on most things. But yeah, the rotation. We could talk about the rotation and a lot tonight, because one of the biggest changes was Depot DNP coach's decision. Tiff, how'd you feel about that?
It's funny because I didn't notice it until I saw people commenting on it. Like I didn't even notice until I saw people commenting on it.
Oh, I noticed immediately. Hamish was the first one off the bench. I was like,
well, you know what? Well, I mean, I knew Hamish was coming when I saw Yurt working in slow motion. I said, I'm back. When he looked like he was in everything, everywhere, all at once, I said, let me get my Hamish minutes. Let me get my Hamish fix. Before I say that, I need to say, at some point we will be circling back around to Hamish, because there is. I just feel with his skill set, his ability to guard up, you're gonna need him again. And I like that he did come in. He got a couple of minutes. He got a basket. He got to build a sweat, because I think he's going to be back. But with the Vic thing, and I think I was telling Bon in the chat, I said, I honestly just think, okay, so if he's just not resting, I thought I'd never say this in my lifetime. Like, Tyler and Max was giving you some real good defense out there. Like, and why would you disrupt that? Why would you disrupt what Gabe was giving you? You had 3 guards that were actually playing really good, and sometimes you roll with it. And that is nothing against Vic, and people should realize that. Like, that has nothing to do with Vic and what he's offered and what he can offer. Because let's be realistic. If Ja Morant was playing in this game,
correct.
Trust me, you would have saw a lot less Tyler, a lot less Max, because you would have saw more Caleb and more Vic.
And to that point, Tiff, and as we say all the time, Franky, your point about Brady's comments about shortening the roster, kind of getting to what your playoff rotation is going to resemble. Some of the streaky kind of shooting aside and the bad decision making, things that can be cleaned up, things that I've watched other guys clean up, throughout the course of the season, Vic has been giving them something. And so the idea that like he just all of a sudden is just out of the complete rotation, why do we jump so hard to these extremes? Why can't it just be right? If Ja's not playing, Vic, we've been kind of managing your minutes all year. Why don't you take Kyle needs some more time? He's ramping back up. And let's brush the dust off of Hamish, because we're probably going to have to come back to him later this season. I do think that they are shortening the rotation a bit, but I don't think that Vic finds himself on the outside of that rotation because he had a DNP. Maybe he missed curfew last night and they suspended him again. Like, there could be kind of any number of things. I don't think it's to do with his play and, matchup depending. That first person off the bench will probably be him. Maybe it will be Hamish. Like, they need to play with the pieces that they could potentially use without giving unnecessary minutes to someone like a Jamal Cain or too much of your. But because Bam got in foul trouble, there's no Zeller, so stuff like that.
Yeah. The Yurt thing, I think I do agree that I think Highsmith was going to get some minutes tonight either way, but he played really well. Yurt got his little 3-minute run in there, picked up the 3 fouls and had to sit out. Spo almost choked him. I will say it was really ballsy of Spo to try out the Yurt Kevin Love front court, but they didn't look good on the court. They did not look good on the court, but they are a good looking duo right there. That would be the best duo in all of basketball.
Spo just pulled that out his ass. He did. Even stop at Yurt and Bam. He went straight for Yurt and Kevin. I'm like, hold on, Holiday. That's too much change. Too much change at once.
Spo said, "Let me put a lot of dip on this chip. Let me get
Listen.
my version of the Twin Towers."
Listen, that's a soggy ass chip. That's one of
God.
them lukewarm chips. Like, ooh, mad dip.
But this,
Shit got no
and
flavor.
the thing is, man, it was on sale, 2 for $3.
Whatever. Brittle.
This,
That shit
Dry.
was, that bag of chips was 50% air.
I feel bad because the thing is that it's gonna take Yurt time to get into any type of basketball shape, and the reality is they just don't.
Quickness.
Well, I'm not even going there. Me and you've been talking about Yurt's not quickness for a minute. So, but just to even get into shape, he don't have time. Like that's
No.
that's the biggest thing. He just doesn't have time.
He's honestly so lucky that Zeller got hurt.
Who's
Yes.
eating mayonnaise with chips? Hold on. Why are we dipping chips?
No,
in
he's saying
I
Kevin
think
Love
I think
and
yeah.
Ure is a lot
Trey-
Oh,
The,
I was about
dos
to say.
leches, dos leches.
That's no, but I think Ure is really fortunate because if Zeller was healthy, I don't think Ure's gonna be playing. I think Ure would be collecting those DMPs. He's got an
So-
opportunity with this injury to Zeller with the broken nose. But I think come playoff time, it's gonna be Cody. Like Cody's earned it. He looks good, way better on both ends.
Who do you? Okay, so I'm thinking of like fringe playoff rotation pieces. I don't know if this is on the docket, but Duncan, where do we see him? Is he another? Okay, we've seen Max kind of pick back up lately. Maybe Max gets a random DMP, and we get like what in you guys' opinion?
That's
thoughts?
I have Duncan on the break in case of emergency
Yeah.
roster.
Yeah.
yeah. But recognize the emergency quick enough to deploy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I and it's funny because like within this stretch, is he gonna get enough minutes to start getting a decent sweat and a rhythm?
How many games they have left?
Like what, 12?
Not many.
It's got to be no
Not-
more than
Yes.
13.
Not
Something like
many.
that.
So those are like, I think those are big things for us to look at as far as like even with Duncan. Will they get enough minutes to even for Spo to even feel like he could reach for them in the playoffs?
12 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 games exactly. I think Duncan's gonna be one of those guys. Highsmith too. I think I love that he got Highsmith some run tonight. Because we talked about those bench lineups. I think when you're going to play Tyler, Kyle, Caleb, and Bam together, that fifth spot is either going to be Max or Highsmith. You need a connector there. Max can hit the shot. If his defense is playing like it was tonight, you trust him and you live with what he gives you offensively. You move the ball well there. But I think against certain lineups and stuff, you get Highsmith in there. You got a bigger win. You got three good defenders there with Kyle.
Yeah.
If Kyle's the fourth best defender on your lineup, that's a pretty good defense right there.
And then Hamish is competent from the corner too. Like it's
Yep.
not super sporadic.
Mhm.
It's not like
Right.
automatic, but you're
Right.
not surprised anymore when his shit goes in. And you shouldn't be.
But he can play up.
Yeah,
He
does.
fits.
Yeah.
He can
does. He
play,
plays, yes,
and
yes.
he plays up, which is why I was
Which
so
is-
happy to see
it's
him
key.
get minutes.
Yeah,
He's
because
gonna- I think you're
in
gonna
that
need
lineup,
him.
Caleb's on the ball.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
Because
and-
in that group, Caleb is a point of attack, so you need Bam and another guy to be the back line.
Someone else to be stout back there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you look at it tonight. The best part of tonight was, did Jimmy play the fourth quarter?
No, Jimmy played 28 minutes.
That's the best part about tonight.
Bullying works.
Absolutely.
Yep, he
Bullying
did.
works.
No, it doesn't. Don't do
Listen,
that.
Jimmy walked in there and said, "Look at this photograph."
Oh my god. Take her out, Brass. More like look at this sociopath. No, but I think today, a lot has been talked about, rightfully so, about this recent stretch of Jimmy balling out and like kind of taking the lead. I don't think the team plays as well as it can when Jimmy does that. I think the proof is in the team's success when Jimmy has to do that. But I think part of that is also on Jimmy to recognize that he needs to get his teammates involved. He needs to like empower them. Like it's also on Bam and Tyler to do, and all the other guys to contribute and do their job. But Jimmy also has to be like, hey, I got to get you the ball in right spots. I got to move the ball. I got to not hold the ball. I got to make sure that I'm not stagnant with on offense. And I can't get cut in front of Bam when Bam's going to the basket and bringing my defender with me. It's stuff like that Jimmy can really help the team out by doing less and help himself out too.
You know the funny part is Jimmy had a dominant first quarter and then half of a second quarter. The thing about it is that Jimmy didn't do anything to get them going. If you actually watch, they actually got themselves going by moving, by calling for the ball, by setting good screens. Like they were doing fundamental work, and that's how they were productive. And Jimmy was able to be, oh, you're open. Boom. Easy pass. Not have to force anything. Not have to yell at people. Not have to do a lot of pointing. Like Bam made decisions early. Like, let me get in the post. All right, I don't have it. I'm passing it. I'm moving the ball. Like, they got them. You know, it's funny because you love to see big games by Jimmy, but you don't want to see a big game where you win by 2 against a team that's like 12th in the division. Like you don't want to see that. They have to help themselves, and I think that like we also forget that a lot of times Jimmy, he does wait around in games to see what other people are going to do. Like he doesn't just come out initially and just say, let me just get us going. There's been a lot of games where he's played playmaker and no one's done anything. So tonight, it just seemed like everybody found like a really good balance of what they should be doing. And it wasn't like a spectacular game by Bam, but it was a good game by Bam. It was the best game to me that we've seen from him in a while. And I'm not talking about just like points. I'm just talking about him just being active.
Yeah, impactful. The liveliness in his body, impactful. There's a balance, and like you said, they have to help one another strike it. And tonight felt like there was a stretch earlier in the season. I think Jimmy came back from injury, or maybe it was last season. I don't know. It's all run together. But we were having kind of a similar conversation, and I saw something tonight that reminded me of a very specific play when I first saw it, in that, like you said, with Bam, like catching in the post, not holding it, moving it when he didn't have it. Jimmy caught it on the left wing, and whereas he's been like taking his time and sizing dudes up lately, he gave a quick turn, didn't try to force it, moved it, and then they still had time for Tyler to go and do some one-on-one stuff. The key is going to be, can Tyler, can Bam, can Caleb, can Gabe give them enough to where Jimmy doesn't have to do, the shit that makes it ugly, but still produce like, look, this don't look good, but this is what I have to do to get points. He doesn't want to play that way. Like, he wants to bruise. He wants to bruise and wants to battle, but he doesn't want to have to do it himself. He doesn't want to have to necessarily do it in a like foreboding type of way. Like if he could play all games like this, 23 and 28 minutes, and just the distribution across the lineup, I 9.7 times out of 10 would bet that he would. If for nothing else, it preserves him. So should some shit slide toward the end, he still has it to go ahead and be hero Jimmy.
Yeah, but 6 assists for Jimmy, 6 assists for Tyler. Like the ball was moving. This was one of the game. Like obviously this is Memphis at their best and stuff. Correct. But we've seen Miami play teams not at their best. We've seen Miami play all sorts of teams and play down to their level. And Miami, this was one of the only performances this season that I can say that they looked purposeful.
They felt professional. They were cutting and moving with intent. They were running routes with specific like plans. There was new thing, like they felt fresh and precision based tonight. The
spacing, the cutting, like everything looked great. It looked like an NBA team in 2023 should. Yeah. The ball was moving. They had 33 assists, 13 turnovers. That just shows like they've had such turnover issues this second half of the season
Mhm.
that
Second
you know,
half of
like
games.
just fumbling the ball, just
Right.
like not even trying to do too much, just low IQ, low effort, low
Right.
awareness, low attention to detail kind of things.
Yeah.
And today was just a phenomenal performance tonight. I was
Yeah.
so impressed by how they looked on both ends.
Right. I think that the insertion of Kyle with the second unit that helps turnovers because
Yeah.
you don't have, because the one thing that we've all said all season is let Max play his role. Like let Max play his role.
Put Caleb back in his role.
And
my
put
God.
Caleb back in his role.
Everyone
Right.
Every
Like we don't want to see all of a sudden Caleb out there dribble, crossing over. It's Caleb time when that's not his game. Or, you don't want to see Max running 100 pick and rolls where he's gotten better as a passer, but but you don't need that repeatedly from him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
so like Kyle has enabled them for Max to be able to be comfortable in the role and like where the pass is there, make the pass, but not have to make the pass. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to force the pass.
Force the pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say about the bench, I don't want to hog it. And the rotations in which Tyler is the first sub out, and it's either Vic or Hamish in, giving Tyler still some more extended time with the bench runs helps too. Just as additional, because then that leaves Jimmy out a little bit longer. Bam, them two of them can man to get starters, and then fresh Tyler for the
you want to have two of those guys on the floor at all times to run the offense and like kind of complement each other. They like you have Tyler with one of them at all times. Like it should not be a Tyler led offense. Like the bench isn't strong enough for Tyler to lead. Tyler's game is at his best when he's off the ball. Tyler, I feel like this was one of Tyler's strongest performances of the season. Just his decisiveness. He was aggressive getting to the rim. He shot 2 of 6 from 3, but 9 of 14 from the field. Like that, you don't see like last season you would see Tyler do that, but it would be so much off mid-range, tough shots, working so hard. This was like an effortless in the flow of the offense kind of game for him. And that's when they're at their best, when Tyler is off the ball and playing like that, moving the ball. The offense overall was moving and decisive and looking for energy. Siobhan, you love talking about how the ball finds energy, and this offense overall today was finding the energy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I thought Tiff had something. No, you're right. And everyone feels involved. That's how the collective team morale picks up. And you have people cheering for each other genuinely. You have like constructive releases of frustration. Like, God damn, finally, it's all real cathartic.
Yeah, now it's on them, Tiff, to really get into some momentum of carrying this over. Like we've seen them have these kind of games this season once in a while, but they haven't had it as a stretch. And this is where this is the time where they need to fucking get it together and find out who they are.
Right. I think that this is, this can be the step. This can be like a momentum builder. They just got to put it to like. There's really nothing else you can say at this point. You came out tonight and you dropped what 138. What did they score? 100. So it could be done. It could be done. Like it can be done. Are you going to get 138 every night? No. But should you be scoring 99 points? No, you should not. So there's a happy medium that they can find and get offense on the board. But tonight actually let me know they got to get back to playing defense. Like tonight showed me, play the defense. The points will come.
Yes, Wise Sage. Put it on the shirt. Play the defense.
Put it on a shirt for
the
sure.
Points will come.
Well, I do want to just touch base on the final stretch. Siobhan mentioned that it was 12 games left on the season. There's 3 of them are against Detroit, 2 against Detroit, 1 against Orlando. So those are non-contending teams, tanking teams. But we've seen them lose to those kind of teams all season, so they need to take care of business there.
Mhm.
The rest of it is teams fighting for playoff positioning or for a playoff seed in general. This is and we know they're doing in the same boat. If they can pull off a stretch here, just get it together, 12 games, a 9-3, something like that, that could really get their momentum going for the playoffs. Good season, you win, you're over 45 wins for the season. I think that's a strong enough finish to end up in the non-play-in bracket. What do you guys think?
I do. I agree. And it's a lot of character building. And like you said, we've seen them, kind of shit the bed to some teams that they shouldn't have before. And, they can't afford to do that right now. Just you have one good win. Like we were saying earlier, you have to string these things together, and you should want to string things together so that you can get comfortably out of having to play yourself into the playoffs. Like, come on, like this is low-key embarrassing. Like let's just continue to be gentlemen and professionals and do the shit that we know that we should be doing. And really the first double-digit win since January 18th against the Pelicans. That's
2 months ago. 2 months ago.
And so, hopefully they do build on this. And I think it is I say 9-3. I'm super, super happy with 8-4 and that fourth loss was hard fought and someone important, and everyone still played well and they felt good. It was just a loss for whatever reason. I take a deep breath, then go forth, and whatever the hell is going to happen is going to happen.
Right. No, I agree. I think that the idea would be you got to go out and handle business, because that sitting and waiting and thinking that the Knicks or the Nets are just going to crumble.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wake up. It ain't happening. Like both of these teams are scrapping every night, win or lose. So you gotta go out and take care of business, and then hopefully the odds are in your favor. Because you could still go out and take care of business and still end up in the play-in.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Maybe then if you go out and take care of business, you're in the play-in, maybe that momentum will carry you forward. But you need something that that gives you hope internally and inside that locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot of process right now. Getting, it's not just about wins. Obviously, wins very much matter with the playoff seeding and getting out of the play-in, but you do want to be playing your best basketball. This game was encouraging. Chad is mentioning that I said last game that they suck. Yes, they did. They have sucked all season. This was not a sucking game. The heat of last week would have played down to this opponent and not nut up and would have just shut up at the end. And Desmond Bane would have dropped 45 on them. But no, this was a different game. They looked a lot better today. I really liked what I saw out of everybody, and it was encouraging for me. Siobhan, so they have we've mentioned the Knicks and the Nets. They have 3 games against those 2 against the Knicks, 1 against the Nets coming up within the next week. That's the stretch right there. That's the stretch where they need to really take care of business if they want to make it in out of the play-in.
I think they split the Knicks games, and they should beat Brooklyn kind of handedly if they actually are who I think that they are. Even with Brooklyn's length and their athleticism and stuff, like we should have enough to, like the Brooklyn game should be fine. I see them losing one of them to the Knicks just because the Knicks haven't shadowed themselves like everyone just expected them to do. So, but yeah, the overall is an important stretch.
And I'm gonna say they shouldn't lose either game to the Knicks, and you know why? Because Bam should take it personally.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I'm not calling out nobody else's name. Bam should take that matchup with Randall personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go at him. He can't guard you. Like, I'm not besmirching Julius Randle because he's having a really good year. But realistically, he can't guard Bam. Like, it is what it is. And he should take it personally, and they should win all 3 of those games. Because the problem is, if you don't win all 3 of those games, you're relying on them to lose other games. Mm-hmm. So So listen, go out there, be Katniss, take everybody out, and make it home. Put the
Hunger
odds in
Games.
your put the odds in your favor. Don't wait on somebody to help you.
Boom.
Tiff said it's time for them to be catching fire.
The Heat.
But
Oh, look at that. Get
But
it out.
put it on the shirt.
Miami Heat catching fire. Let that be the
Hey.
playoff thing.
That should be don't say that too loud.
I know. God damn.
Don't say it too loud. Hold up. We done went through the whole gamut. Frankie, I ain't get no Max praise. I only showed up to talk about Max. I'm saying that because that's what everybody think anyway. So I'm just saying it.
I'm here with your boy Max.
What's up, Tiff? How you doing? Hope everything's well.
Cheers.
Now play the train clip.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get it.
Give me that.
Big stretch right here. I think a key element of this week as well. This Wednesday night, they don't play again until Saturday. They have a back-to-back at Chicago and at Detroit. Those are two Chicago's fighting for a play-in spot. They're just out of the play-in right now. They are the 11th seed right now. It's tied with the Wizards, but I think by tiebreaker, the Wizards are ahead. This is a crucial stretch because if they split that or lose both of those games, all this goodwill is for naught.
Yeah.
Is for naught. They need to win. They 2-0 right there, back to backs.
Or this is like that one Boston game that one time in the season we beat them. It was like, yay, we fixed it, and then they came out and like broke it again immediately.
I think we broke it again against the Pistons.
I thought it was either the Pistons or Memphis. Somebody.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It was like Memphis with like they were down. I think J-Jack mentioned it. They were down like 3 starters,
Right.
and Miami went in high and mighty like this game is ours
Exactly.
instead of earning it. And that's been their problem when they've had a performance like this. Like you mentioned the Boston game, and then they just have a letdown right after the Cavs game like a week ago. Then they blow the second night of a back-to-back a winnable game in Orlando. Like that's when we'll know they've taken that step. I think we all loved what we saw tonight, process-wise, performance-wise, but it needs to carry over. It needs to be consistent. They can't be like, hey, we fixed it. We don't got to play hard anymore. Take what worked for you tonight and carry that over for the rest of the season. Embrace this identity.
Jimmy's hinted at that like all season. Like we show up thinking we just want to beat people, and that we don't have to put our best foot forward. Like these other people aren't about to put their best foot forward every time too. So, like you said, they just got to keep it going.
That's where they miss PJ the most. I feel like PJ, because when they would get into lulls last year. Yeah, like PJ didn't have to be loud, like box score wise, but he made loud plays and effort plays, and they really missed that this season. And they got to go through PJ and the Philadelphia 76ers. I kind of want that matchup now. G's been hyping it up. He wants Philly scared. He says Philly's scared. I think Philly would be scared of the Heat in the playoffs.
You know what? It's not the Heat. People know they don't want to see Jimmy healthy because, like he said, he's gonna be a battering ram, and he's just gonna get whatever he wants, and he's a deflating type of player. Whereas you really are okay. I got you locked up. I got Tyler locked up. Oh, Kyle, you're not going nowhere. And then out of nowhere, here's Jimmy with the 3-point play. So he deflates you. You think you've got it all. But you don't have nothing. And also, like, let's be realistic. You don't know what hair he's showing up with.
All right. Tiff, we talk about impact, and like Jimmy is an impactful scorer, and it's a space for a deeper conversation kind of on it. But like you said, he does a lot of things that do deflate you, and the way that he goes about his points, he's not a jump shooter, so that his margin for error is a bit bigger because he's not taking all of these contested type shots. He knows what he needs to get to, and more than likely he's going to be able to get to it again and again and again, and it just wears you, and then the rest of the avalanche.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean that's how Miami Heat are supposed to play. Like they're supposed to wear
Yes.
you down defensively and offensively, and it's just been that lack of identity that I feel like has been their constant problem. Like there was never a purpose offensively for what they were doing. Like they had the word. It wasn't just about shots not falling. Like Tyler was getting his, Bam was getting his, Jimmy was getting his, but there was no purpose offensively. It just looked like a mess. Like there was so much wrong. There was no cohesion there. It was just like you get yours, and I get mine, then he gets his. It's not like, hey, we're trying to break you down defensively and get to the cup or anything like that.
Carly Tiana said, "I'm so happy watching Kevin Love cheering from the bench."
That's a good-looking man right there. Salt and pepper.
Yeah, it's
Salt and pepper. He's giving distinguished.
The most interesting man in the world.
Exquisite.
Exquisite. He looks like he could be a member of a band. And what band would that be?
Ooh, I don't know. Chad, we got anything for Kevin Love? Kevin Love boy bands?
Boy band.
Well, we know tonight there was no love below from Desmond Bain for Kevin. Took a shot, man. The poor Kevin. I hope he's not planning on having kids soon.
It was so aggressive and prolonged.
was.
Like it just stayed. Like get out of that.
He said
Get
Falcon
But
punch.
not even right. But not only did he stay, I saw like a lift.
a little squeak.
Yeah.
Nah.
He's so damn strong too. With those forearms,
Right.
so big. He lifted Kevin off the ground. Like, Kevin is a big man. That's a big
It's like a damn like a cartoon, like boink, and he just pops up. Like, jeez.
You deflated that man. Chad is calling the Beach Boys,
Beach balls.
Beach Balls.
Burp.
Derp.